Today the topic of my discussion is immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins are antibodies. So I have already said in the previous classes that antibodies are blood proteins which are generated by our immune system to fight against any incoming pathogen. So whenever an antigen enters inside our body, our body's immune system produces these antibody molecules to fight against the pathogen. So immunoglobulins are basically proteins in nature, and it is a heterodimer, which means that it has two subunits. The protein is composed of two subunits which are of non-identical nature. For this reason it is called a heterodimer. So the immunoglobulin molecule is composed of one heavy chain and one light chain. The heavy chain is called heavy because it has a molecular mass of 50,000, and the light chain has a molecular mass of 25,000, and due to the larger mass than the light chain, this heavy chain is composed of one subunit, and the light chain is composed of another protein subunit. So the heavy chain subunit and the light chain subunits form a dimer which are non-identical in nature, and for this reason it is called the heterodimer. So heavy chains have larger molecular mass than the light chains. For this reason these are called heavy chain and light chains. So this heavy chain and the light chains are forms the structure of the immunoglobulin, and this is a quaternary structure and the heavy chain and the light chains are linked with each other with the help of disulfide bonds. So disulfide bonds are covalent bonds, and this disulfide bonds links the heavy chain and the light chain together to form the quaternary structure of the immunoglobulin molecule, and this quaternary structure is the functional form of the immunoglobulin molecule. So this is the structure of the immunoglobulin. This is the light chain, this one is the light chain, and this one is the heavy chain. And as this is a protein molecule, it has an N-terminus end and a C-terminus end. So the amino terminal end is in this region, in this part, and the C-terminal region is in this part, or the carboxyl terminal region is in this part, and this part of the immunoglobulin is called the FC part. FC means fragment of crystallization. So it is named because it has some function, we will see it later, but the name of this part is fragment of crystallization or FC part, and this part of the immunoglobulin molecules are called Fab fragments, which means fragment antigen binding, because these arms of the immunoglobulins are responsible for binding with the antigen. So this is the overall and simplified structure of the immunoglobulin, and also the immunoglobulins have as I already said that it is composed of light chain and heavy chains. So there are two different types of light chains in case of immunoglobulins. One is kappa light chain and the other one is lambda light chain. And in case of heavy chains, 5 different types of heavy chains are possible: alpha, mu, delta, epsilon, and gamma. So these 5 types of heavy chains are possible. And 2 types of light chains are possible. But for case of a single immunoglobulin molecule, only a single light chain and a single heavy chain is possible. So this is the overall structure of the immunoglobulin in a simplified form. And now moving to the next part. This is a simplified structure of an immunoglobulin molecule, and let's look into the heavy chain and the light chain. So the large chain, this one is the heavy chain and the short one is the light chain. So this is heavy chain and this one is the light chain. And now, as I already said, that this heavy chain and the light chain is divided into 2 parts. One is the variable region. So this part is the variable region, and the rest of the part, that is the whole part, is called the constant region. The variable region and the constant region. So only the tip of the immunoglobulin arms are called the variable region, and the rest of the immunoglobulin is called the constant region. So this variable region and the constant region, and now constant region is divided into 4 parts. So in case of light chains, the light chains have only one constant region, whereas in case of the heavy chains they have 4 constant regions. So let's look into the light chain constant region. So this is the light chain, the small one is the light chain, and this part is the constant region of the light chain. This part is the constant region of the light chain, that is called Cl. It is named as Cl, and the Cl, L for light, and the constant regions of the heavy chains are named as Ch. So this is the Ch, and as the heavy chains is larger than the light chain, the constant regions are also more in number than the light chains. So in case of heavy chains, the constant regions are 4. So this is Ch1, this is named as Ch1, and in between this region there is Ch2, and this part is called the Ch3. So this region, so this is the structure which is present in the most of the immunoglobulins, that is IgG, IgD. So these 3 immunoglobulins have this structure, but in case of IgM and IgA, first let's look into the hinge region. So these 3 immunoglobulins have a hinge region in this part. So this is the hinge region of the immunoglobulins. This is the hinge region of the immunoglobulin, IgG, IgD and IgE, and in case of IgM and IgA, this hinge region is not present. Instead, Ch2 is present in this region. So instead of hinge region, Ch2 is present in IgM and IgA, and the numbering is similar. This is Ch1, this is Ch2, this is Ch3, and the last one is Ch4. So this is the structure of the immunoglobulin molecule in simplified form, and this is the light chain and this is the heavy chain, and this is the and the light chains are named, the variable region in the light chains are called VL. This is VL, and this one is VH. So both the VH and the VL form the antigen binding arm on the immunoglobulin, and the tip portions are called the hypervariable regions, and the regions just adjacent to the hypervariable regions are the frame shift regions, and the rest part on the immunoglobulins are the constant regions. So this is all about the structure of the immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulins are also classified into 2 parts, into 2 types. So immunoglobulins are of 2 types. One is the membrane bound immunoglobulin and the other one is the secreted immunoglobulin. So secreted immunoglobulins are water soluble immunoglobulins. That is, these immunoglobulins are soluble in the blood, whereas the membrane bound immunoglobulin is not soluble in blood and it is non-mobile. These secreted immunoglobulins are mobile. That means it can move into the bloodstream. Secreted immunoglobulins can move into the bloodstream and search antigen, but membrane bound immunoglobulins are non-mobile and they cannot move into the bloodstream in search of antigens, and these membrane bound immunoglobulins are present on the surface of B cells. So B cells have receptors on their surface which are responsible for the humoral immunity. So B cell receptors recognizes the antigen, soluble antigen or particulate antigen which is present inside the blood. So B cell receptor, this is a B cell receptor. So B cell receptor recognizes an antigen, binds with the antigen and then produces the humoral immune response. So the B cell receptor is nothing but a membrane bound immunoglobulin. So what are the features of the membrane bound immunoglobulin? Membrane bound immunoglobulin are just like transmembrane proteins. As we know that cell membrane has our cell membrane, every cell has cell membrane, so B cell also have a cell membrane. So in the cell membrane of the B cell, these membrane bound immunoglobulins are incorporated. So if this is the interior of the B cell, and this is the outside of cytosol of the cell, so this is the membrane bound immunoglobulin. It must have a hydrophilic part, a hydrophobic transmembrane part which is integrated inside the membrane, and a cytoplasmic tail which is present inside the cytosol of the B cell. So Similarly, the membrane-bound immunoglobulin has three parts. One is the hydrophilic part, which is present outside the cell, outside the B cell, and faces the cytosol or the extracellular space. And this is a B cell, and this is the transmembrane part, which is present, which is integrated inside the B cell membrane, and this is the cytoplasmic tail. This is the cell exterior of the cell. And this is the B cell cytoplasm or cytosol. So the membrane bound immunoglobulin has a exterior part which is hydrophilic in nature, a cytosolic tail which is also hydrophilic, and a transmembrane part which is hydrophobic in nature. So these are the three components, that are three types of amino acids which are found on the membrane bound immunoglobulins. Now coming to the secreted immunoglobulins. Secreted immunoglobulins, as I already said, that they are able to move into the bloodstream. And as they are able to move into the bloodstream, they are composed of hydrophilic amino acids. For this reason, they are able to move into the bloodstream. So, they are composed of only hydrophilic amino acid. And they does not contain the transmembrane domain as present in the membrane-bound immunoglobulin. So, this is the difference between the secreted and the membrane-bound immunoglobulin molecule. And this secreted immunoglobulin molecule can itself bind an antigen and itself search an antigen and bind with that antigen and produce a response. But the membrane bound immunoglobulin cannot recognize the antigen by moving into the bloodstream, and the membrane bound immunoglobulin cannot search the antigen into the bloodstream. It can only bind the antigen if the antigen comes in its vicinity. So this is the difference between these two types of immunoglobulins. Now moving to a very important part on the immunoglobulin chapter, that is isotype, allotype and idiotype. So what are the three terms and what are the difference between each of the terms? So isotype arises due to the sequence variability in the constant region of the immunoglobulin molecule. As I said that the immunoglobulin molecules are made up of variable region and constant region. So this part is the variable region and the rest of the immunoglobulin is constant region. So in case of constant region, there is minor variabilities in the amino acid sequence, so that most of the amino acid sequence are constant or non-variable, but there are slight variations in the amino acid sequence of the constant region. So due to these slight variations in the amino acids of the constant region, these isotypic forms are generated. So what are the isotypic forms? Due to the isotypic forms, 5 classes of immunoglobulins are generated. That is IgG, so all the 5 types of immunoglobulins are generated because of the difference in the amino acid sequence of the constant region. Coming to the allotype, allotype is also change in the constant region of the immunoglobulin, but this is quite different from the isotype, because we know that in case of diploid organism like humans, there are minimum 2 alleles for a given gene. Similarly, in case of immunoglobulin gene also, there are minimum of 2 alleles and more than 2 alleles are also possible. So which allele is expressed in which individual is completely dependent on the genetics part. So a single allele is not expressed in every individual. So different individuals express different alleles of the given gene. So let's take the case of IgG which has allotypic forms. So suppose this is the allele for IgG1 and this is IgG2. These two are the alleles of the gene for IgG immunoglobulin. So some individuals will express the IgG1 gene, some individuals will express IgG1. but some individuals will express the IgG2. So these forms which are expressed in two different individuals are called allotypes of each other, or allotypic forms of each other. So allotypes basically originate due to the expression of different alleles of a given gene in different individuals. So in this case also the change is, there are minor changes in the constant region of the immunoglobulin. So in isotype also and in allotype also the change is in constant region. Amino acid change in amino acid sequence is changed in the constant region. But in the case of idiotype, the amino acid sequence changes in variable region, not in the constant region. So the variability is in this part. The amino acid sequence is changed in the variable region. So as we know that the variable region is responsible for binding to an antigen, and it is a very crucial part. It is the complementarity determining regions. So if the sequence of the amino acid on the variable region changes, then the antigen binding is hampered. So suppose an immunoglobulin is responsible for binding to antigen A. So suppose IgG is responsible for binding to antigen A. It binds with antigen A, but after the sequence variability, after the change in the sequence in the variable region, this immunoglobulin will bind with antigen B. So the antigen is changed. There is no change in the constant region of the immunoglobulin, but due to the change in the variable region, the antigen recognized by that antibody completely changes. So the immunoglobulin cannot further recognize the immunoglobulin antigen A. It will now recognize the antigen B. So this is the difference between the three forms. And now coming to the example of the allotypes. So as I already said that these allotypic forms are generated because of the expression of different alleles of a given gene in different individuals. So suppose the antigen remains same because the variable region is not affected. Only the constant region is affected. So as the variable region is unchanged, suppose taking two individuals, one is human A and the other one is human B, and the same antigen, the antigen is A. So human A will form an antibody, suppose IgG1. So let's take this example. Antigen is A and there are two humans, human 1 and human 2. So these are the two humans and the antigen is the same. So human A will produce an antibody IgG1, but human 2 will produce an antibody IgG2. So this IgG1 and IgG2 are allotypic forms of each other. So they are called allotypes of each other. So this is the concept of allotype. And isotype, I already said that in isotype also the change is in the constant region. So the variable region is not affected. So all the 5 classes of immunoglobulins can recognize the same antigen. So antigen A is recognized by all the 5 classes of the immunoglobulins. So this is the difference between all the three terms, isotype, allotype and idiotype. So this is the thing.